So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show, joined by Bob Enriquez with the Hillsborough County Property Appraiser's Office. I'm Andrew Duncan of the Duncan Duo. Mike Gates of Atlantic Bay Mortgage, not Atlantic Bay, Atlantic Bay Mortgage, and Robert Johnson, president of the Duncan Duo team. And I want to talk to Bob next. We have a lot of customers buying new construction homes, building new construction homes. I'm one personally doing it now, and so there's a misconception out there, and a lot of people don't understand this, of how the reassessment will happen when the new construction home gets built. So depending on when you get the certificate of occupancy, you know, is when the year that you lie in for taxes.
Yeah, and the technical term is substantially complete. Now, by and large, we CO is that point, particularly with single-family homes.
Yeah.
That's not 100% of the case, particularly with the cases of, say, you know, office buildings, things like that, where it's complete, people start to move in.
They're occupying it, but it doesn't have everything done.
Yeah. So we leave that open. I don't want to say it's 100% of the time, but let's say that for the sake of argument, it's substantially complete. At that point, it goes on the tax roll. Well, remember, January 1st is our magic date. So everything happens in the world of mass appraisal that we're in, with 400-some thousand properties. You know, that we have to set everything to be fair and equitable as of a certain date of appraisal. So that's January 1st of a given year. So if you started construction on your home today, your new home, you would want, from tax purposes, you would want it to be complete January 2nd,
right?
Or January 1st of 2019.
Because if it's done that way,
you're only going to pay on the land. If you already own the property,
yep,
you're only going to pay on the land for the remainder of this year.
Yep.
And then next year, 2019, trim notice that comes out in August of 19, it's going to reassess and add the value of the structure.
And I think a lot of people that buy new construction don't understand that benefit, or they forget it. You know, we'll have people that will buy a brand new home, and then a year later, you know, their taxes go up, and they call us and they say, my taxes went out of the roof. What's going on? Why did my bill go up so much? It's like, no, you signed paperwork. Like, you may not remember it, but it was told to you that, you know, the very first year your taxes were on land value. Now your property is getting, you know, reassessed. Just like everything in real estate, the realtor gets blamed for everything. So we had to, you know, we have to obviously explain to them, hey, look, you know, it really isn't, you know, that way. You know, it's you know, you were built one year and then you were reassessed for your structure, because last year you only paid land taxes. And
it's interesting. I think that probably if you're in South County and you're building into a neighborhood of homes that are very similar, you could probably look at if they're under construction, maybe the next door neighbor, their home is done. It's very. You get a pretty good idea what it's going to end up being, plus or minus a bit. But you know, if you're building a custom home in South Tampa, maybe very different.
Yep.
You know, depending on what you're building and land value. In some cases, you can go in certain places in South Tampa, let's say, and you may have, given what's happened in the neighborhood over the course of years, you're the one, you know, ranch-style home that hasn't, in Davis Island, that hasn't been torn down.
Yeah,
and so the value of your property is really in the land,
right?
You know, and the structure. That it's probably, you know, once it's sold, that it's going to go away, and some big McMansion's going to go in there. So it varies, but those are kinds of questions that people. We have a tax estimator. We can on the website, but with new construction, we can help people as best we can in giving them an idea. But it is important for them to understand that they're inordinately low that first year. One thing I would also caution folks with in those cases of that January 1st deadline is remember portability, because there are folks out there that perhaps they rented for a period of time, or during the downturn they were in a rough situation economically, and now they're back where they can buy something.
What's the period of time?
You have 2 tax years, and let me tell you what that means. It's not 2 calendar years, okay? So you have the remainder of the year that you're in plus 1 more year. So let's say today you abandon your homestead, meaning that you move out of the home, you sell the home, whatever it may be. I would have, if I did that today, I would have until January 1st well, I'm going to make sure I got this right, 20, so December 31st of 19 to port.
If you sold like now. You have till December.
Right. So if it were December 31st of this year, of 2018, you would have until December 31st of 19. You have 1 year.
For portability to
Right.
kick in.
And so it's not 2 calendar years, and that's important to know. So in some of these cases, and what, unfortunately, people get caught up, particularly with new construction, because there's so much going on. Maybe there's holdups, there's permitting issues, there's weather issues, the contractors are backed up, they don't quite get done. Now all of a sudden it's December 28th.
And the push is on.
You could lose your portability if you didn't have the CO
I've actually got
December 31st.
I've got a really interesting one that I'm going to hit you with after the break. You know, and I'll be asking for a friend, aka I'm asking for myself, and we'll be back to cover that after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show. All right, so.